Hello everyone. Welcome to YouTube. We're doing a live today on Are Women the New 4 Minute Mile? Are they the new standard? So I want to start with a disclaimer in case my eyebrows look really crazy to you. I just had my second session of air stroking. It was like a touch-up session yesterday, and they're very fresh, and so they look it's one of those things where if you've ever had this microblading or air stroking, it looks a little crazy for a week and then it like goes down. It looks very natural. So I was like, I really want to go live stream, but my eyebrows are cray. And then I'm like, who the hell cares? That's never stopped me in the past. So I have been noticing these conversations happening around me. I've also participated in these conversations. And I wanted to kind of put it out here in a video and so we can discuss it. I kind of talked about this a little bit in my last live stream, but I feel like this is deserving of its own video. So the topic is women are the new 4 minute mile. So I'm sure most of you guys know the whole 4 minute mile thing. I forget the guy's name, but back in the day, people used to believe that a mile could not be run in 4 minutes. And then this one guy ran it in a minute. And the day after he ran it in a minute, I'm sorry, 4 minutes, he ran a mile in 4 minutes. The next day, other people were now able to do so. And this is so potent. By the way, if you guys want to join the live stream, join the membership. You get exclusive content and access to the chat. And awesome, we got someone that just signed up for Davy. I'm so excited to have you, babe. I'm super excited about this course. I'll be discussing that with you guys a little bit later. We've only got under 4 hours now for the free pre-launch price. So the day after he ran it, he became like, it was like, oh, someone can do this because he's obviously done it. And then more people did it. And then this became like this ultimate kind of saying that everyone talks about, like, oh, the 4 minute mile. And now we always use it as like, oh, that person's my 4 minute mile. That's my 4 minute mile. And what we mean when we say that is that that person is my inspiration. They're my muse. They are my guide. Like if they can do it, I can do it. It's sort of the underlining, message of that. What I've noticed recently is that the conversation has shifted from like, if men can work, we can work. If men can vote, we can vote. If men can drive, we can drive, right? Like it's been changed in the United States for a really long time in the Western world. But it's now the other way around. Now what I've been hearing, it's so interesting because now I'm hearing men saying and men being told, hey, if a woman can do it, you can do it. If a woman can, I've even had this conversation with men. I've shared this with you guys in my other live stream. When I hear men complain, if they're complaining to me about their job, I'm sorry. Like, I love men and I love women. I hold everyone to a high standard. If you're gonna bitch and complain about your cushy job to me, where you work 2 hours a day and you make six figures, I'm gonna bring out that there is a woman out there doing that exact thing and working 12 hours probably, or doing worse things on their freaking period. And there's women out there that are doing it on postpartum. There's women that are doing it after leaving their newborn babies in daycares and then like crying themselves to sleep every night and crying on the way to work. So the conversation has shifted. What's really interesting in my world about this conversation is that I'm seeing both of the conversations happen at the same time. So you guys know that I come from a Pakistani background. My parents were from Pakistan. Pakistan is a country that used to belong to India, and then it split up in like 1947. And so it's a really interesting culture because they are kind of like in between Indian culture, which is a little bit more modern as compared to Pakistanis, and and then not as it's traditional, but not as traditional as like Middle Eastern culture. So we're kind of like this really interesting fusion and hybrid, whereas we're very modern, educated, but then at the same time we also hold traditional values. What's really interesting is that we have like like women working in Pakistan, it's a fairly newer concept. It's happening more and more now, but it's newer, right? It's way newer than women working in the United States. And because of that, I've heard women in Pakistan saying things like, if like, for example, they have to go work, there's no provider in the house, they say things like, hey, if my dad did this for, 40 years, I can do this. Or if my brother can, put aside his feelings and my brother can do it, I can do it. So the conversation there is that men are the 4 minute mile. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like the men are the standard? Well, I'm hearing the complete opposite conversation here. That if women could put themselves through college, men should be able to do it. If women can own their own homes as a single woman, men should be able to do it. If women can put aside their emotions and their needs and their desires and go and earn money and get an education and do all the things, then men should be able to do it. And I just wanted to kind of bring this up as a point of conversation that I think it's so interesting to be so lucky enough to born in a time in history where I'm seeing both of the conversations happening at the same time, uh, just in a different time space. Like it's so interesting, right? So as you're hearing me say this, what is coming up for you? I want to have a conversation around this. I think this is such a potent, delicious conversation. And before I start taking your comments and questions and things like that, I do want to mention two things. One, we have a couple hours left for my brand new first course of 2024 pre-launch price. So I'm launching Devi, which is the Sanskrit word of goddess, and it's called Devi, the ultimate diva, and diva is the Latin word for goddess. So it's a really potent six lesson course. We spend six like lessons with me. It's sort of the level after Savage. If you love the Savage Feminine course, which I know it's like a cult favorite over here, like everyone loves it, this is the level after that. This is how you like now integrate the Savage and move into the next step. And so that is listed in the description box, and I'll throw it also in the chat. Also, we still have some spots left for our LA intensive happening in Orange County called Feminine, Sacred, and Savage. So that's happening on April 3rd for Sheena's birthday. I celebrate my mom's birthday by doing the really savage and savvy and just rich and potent intensive. So that's happening. What are you guys saying? Welcome, Emily, to Level Up Queens. Hi, lovely mama. Yes, I was just there. Better Man by S.A.K. I'm so happy that you got Davy. Yes, she said, I decided. Yes. Yes, I've been in those conversations as well, Christian said. Whenever I have those conversations, I have to make sure men don't shrink in their responsibilities as men. Yes. I think the world that we have accidentally created right now, it doesn't serve men in the sense that it's unintentionally triggering the conserve energy switch in all men. If you're new to my work, the conserve energy switch is an evolutionary mechanism. We all have it to some degree. Men just have it more because of their unique hunter blueprint, and women obviously were gatherers. So we have it in a lesser dose. Men have it way more. And what this does basically is because hunting required a lot of energy, when men were back in the tribe, when they were not hunting, when they were not risking their life, they would kind of go into conserve energy mode. It's like their battery would go into like power saving mode. And in this mode, they would coast a little bit and rest a little bit, and they would not be very quick to volunteer for things or say, I'll do that. And they would, even if the responsibilities were placed on them, they would often wait until like the 11th hour to see if someone else was going to take it, because they could not afford to waste that kind of energy doing things that someone else could potentially do, or problems that could get resolved in other ways when they had to go hunting. So because of that, they would conserve energy. Well, what's happened now is that the world that we've created, where we've got these institutions and these governmental systems and even women that will just jump in, right? Like, for example, men don't have to protect too hard because we have the police and the firefighters and the FBI and like all of these things, right? Well, they don't have to get up and like help too much around the house because their wife will get annoyed of waiting and just jump in and do it. And then the points that they would get from doing these tasks, the internal points, can now be found through playing, not playing even, watching football, watching the stock market, even if you're not even investing money into it, playing video games or watching, the P word. I'm not gonna, by the way, I got a ding on my channel the other day for cursing, so I have to be a little careful because YouTube is cracking down. Once they get you once, I feel like they kind of like have their eyes on you. So I'm gonna have to like say other words. So I'm gonna have to be a little careful, just so you know. But that's why I love my courses because there's no filter. I can say whatever the hell I want. And so I can be completely 100% authentic on Zoom and in my courses and stuff. I just have to be a little bit careful here. So because of that, if a man is not aware of his internal conserve energy switch and he's not able to motivate himself outside of it, we're just going to create basically a full-on nation of lazy men. I was going to say the A word after that, but we can't because YouTube doesn't like it. So we're just going to create men that are lazy. And it's like, I hate to say this, but it's kind of not their fault because their natural tendency to conserve energy to actually go on to hunt will never actually be like it's working against them. There's like never gonna be a chance for them to go hunting now because it's like there's supermarkets that sell meat. They don't have to go hunt to do that. They don't really have to provide because they can just do 50-50 relationships with women. So when I ask my women that are following me, when I say things like, you are literally taking one for the team by insisting that he provide for you, can you now see that you are literally taking one for the team? You really are. Because if you don't allow him to provide, he's essentially coasting and making himself like sick. Like whatever is not used, it becomes stagnant, right? It's just like unused energy. That's what can lead to diseases and overwhelm and anxiety and mental health issues. And we're seeing this. We're seeing mental health issues rising in both men and women, but like we're seeing that I don't want to say that word, but like that unalive word, it like that has skyrocketed in recent years for men. So letting men be useful in the ways that they were designed to be useful is literally community service. Girl, you are saving the damn planet by letting him provide, by letting him do things for you. Of course, I attract on my channel women that don't necessarily need men to provide. Like we're educated, we're overeducated, we earn so much money. They're in the top 10%, top 5%, top 1% in the freaking nation. Of course, we don't need it, but they need it. They need it. So if you love men like I do, if you love your father, if you love your brothers, if you love your cousins and your male friends, and if you love your sons, and if you love your husband, you have to allow them to do what they were raised and evolved to do, even if they go in kicking and screaming. Because of course, if they've been coasting for a while, they're gonna be like, well, it's just so much safer just sitting here on the couch watching video games, right? Or watching football. You have to insist on it. Like it needs to be a deal breaker because otherwise you're in a relationship with a man that's not healthy and you are enabling him, you are participating in that. Take one for the team. Hashtag, I love that. Hashtag take one for the team. Wow, allow him to provide. So good. Yeah, it is your duty as a woman. And we love it. Admit it. We love it because we evolved to have men provide for us. So if he needs it to be healthy and sane and you love it, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Like we're all about being efficient and healthy and happy and successful and radiant on this channel, right? Are we not? That's what we stand for. Like getting to have it all. So this is just another part of you getting to have it all. I love how you shed light on women's part in this. It's become too normal to always blame men. Yeah, I will, like, I don't blame men, I don't blame women, but I do hold both to a very high standard. Have some standards. Like this channel is for women and the men that listen. I have men that listen too, that want and have high standards. Like if you're in like victim and blaming and stuff, you're probably not gonna stick around long over here. You're not gonna like me very much. Sorry. 100%. My fiance and I have transitioned to him providing 100%, and we have both healed so much from it. His income and opportunity has increased, and he is so much more empowered. This is why married men earn more, because they have an intensive to do so. Like we're all about the energetics, right? We're practical, but we're all about the energetics over here. Like, why would he struggle more, compete more, do all the things that are required to move up in his career if he wasn't providing? Like I've heard so many stories of like the guy that like got kicked out of high school and went to juvie and all of the stuff he went through, right? That guy now, like, got someone pregnant and has a baby and he has to provide, and all of a sudden you see him back getting his GED or going back to like evening classes at like the local community college. Why? I need to provide for my kid. Like men need these responsibilities. They do. So I know strong, independent women, but like cut this shit out. YouTube is gonna be mad. Sorry. Cut it out and stop taking that away from him. You are making men sick. Like we have to like be honest over here that the men that you love in your life, whether it's a brother, a friend, a cousin, whatever, a husband, by jumping in for them, by doing things for them, by paying their bills, by splitting bills with them, by doing all this stuff with them, you're actually making them sick. You're making them sick. Let them have that responsibility. I mean, I think it is the online space that has made it easier for more women to become the 4 minute mile. Women are able to use their mental muscle rather than brute strength. Thank goodness. Maybe for me personally, my biggest 4 minute miles have not been online, to be honest with you. Like they were women that I knew in my personal life, even before the internet existed. Like my mom, right? Like my dad would often complain about like the smallest things, and my mom would just do it. Like she would just do it, like at her expense, but she would just do it. And I've met countless women like this that like have just taken it upon themselves to just shoulder the burden of life. That was once something that men used to do. And I'm glad that women have more opportunities, but don't ever use your opportunities to steal something from men. Like use your opportunity to create a beautiful life, yes. Use those powers, use your rights, all of those things to create a beautiful life experience, but don't steal from men while doing it. And what I mean by that is that don't just jump in and do the 50-50. Don't just jump in and take care of his responsibilities. I see this so much all around me. One thing I do see on the internet, which I don't really see in my real life, thank God, so a little bit, but not too much. I see online women, successful women, raising, their boyfriend's children from their previous situationship. I think that is just making the situation so much worse because he never took his responsibilities with the mother of his children. And now, instead of like being a father to his children, he's just going to find another woman to shoulder the burden when he has half the time or whatever, right? So there's a lot of things that I see happening that could be easily cured for women just saying, hey, I'm not going to raise grown ass. Sorry. I feel like there needs to be like a little jar that I like put $1 in so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. But yes, like grown men, like stop jumping in and saving them. Like I get it, like women, we're like newer superheroes. Like we haven't had this position in for that long, and it's like fun to be able to do things and exercise our power in new and profound ways, but please stop jumping in for other people. Like don't take, I feel like taking away someone else's spiritual assignment is a sin. Like it is literally a sin for you to jump in and take over a man's spiritual assignment. That is not your job. women being the 4 minute mile can make men want to conserve energy. How do we inspire them? So, no. What I mean by women are the 4 minute mile is I'm talking about men saying, oh my God, if a woman can do it, I can do it. So this is the conversation that I've heard from men, empowered men, strong men, conscious men, is they're like, wow, if a woman can, like, this is literally the conversations that I've heard. So it is not demotivated men. Now, it's made lazy men who were going to make excuses anyways, who weren't going to amount to anything anyways, maybe just give up. But those men were going to do it anyways. I'm saying that both men and women are using women now as the 4 minute mile. Yeah, a lot of immigrant women do this. It's a sin to jump in and take over a man's spiritual assignment. Wow. Yes, or anyone's. Like I don't even want to do it for a woman. This gets misinterpreted anytime I say this. I don't even know if I've ever said this on YouTube, but I'll say it now. I don't care. But it gets misinterpreted when I say it in real life for sure. I help people who don't need my help. I will not help anyone that needs my help. Let me explain this. Meaning, if I see someone already working really hard, so for example, let me say it this way. I am 100% more likely to overtip someone working really hard in a restaurant than to give a panhandler any money. So if I see someone begging for money, I won't give them any money. If I see someone really working hard, like making ends meet, like they're trying, that's the person I will give money to. Because I know at the end of the day they don't really need my money because they will make it. They have the grit, they have the resilience, they have the work ethic to make it. And because of that, that's a good investment. A panhandler is not a good investment. That person is not someone that I'm going to invest in because I already know they're not going to do anything with it. Why would I invest in that? I'm a businesswoman at the end of the day. I make smart investments for myself and for my business. So that's how we really have to approach it. The people that we enable, if you really think about it, those people, like, they're not going to use your resources to make anything out of themselves. Have they ever? Like, I know that all the people that my mom were trying to carry on her back, which led to her demise at the end, they didn't amount to anything from her resources, nothing. They just sucked her dry until she was dead. So those are not people I would help. But yeah, if I see someone, working hard, I see their work ethic, I see that they're like learning, they're growing, I know they're already gonna make it whether I invest in them or not, I will invest in them because that person is worth it. That's a good investment. I was watching Selling Sunset, and Nick Cannon's baby mama explained that she was working hard to provide for their son. Yes, I saw that too. Oh, girl, made me so sad. She went back to work 6 weeks after giving birth. Yes. And she's like in a harem of like multiple women, right? Like it's so interesting. I feel like people will often attack like other cultures that have like where it's like marriage is multiple marriages are actually allowed through religion, but the requirement is that the man has to be able to provide all of them. I feel like isn't that better? Even though I don't like it, I feel like that's better than what the hell do we have going on over here in the United States. So let me get this straight. You're gonna be one of like many girlfriends and you still cannot have time off to yourself after your baby. You have to return. And she was talking about how she needed that one sale that she was going to throw her son a birthday party. Like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, okay, if that's what you want to do, waste the prime time of your life doing this kind of shenanigans, good luck. That's what I see going on right now. Mina, should I mention that I want to be a homemaker on the first date? I do desire a man who is already awakened, but a lot of them are not, so I am afraid of scaring away some good ones. Okay, If you feel like you have to say it, don't say it. If you don't need to say it, if you say it, there will be no damage done. A lot of women that are not embodied in their like energy in that way, where men naturally want to provide for them, they will say it out of fear and scarcity, and they will scare away people. Because men like to think what they're doing is their idea and not something that they're forced to do. So if you feel like you have to say it, do not say it. Do not say it. Do not say it. You will screw yourself over. Get my modern dating for Queen's course. Like, do some inner work. Don't say it. If you're a woman that's embodied in your energy, you've been doing your inner work, and it comes up and you say it, no damage will come out of it. You will be fine because you're so embodied that you can do no wrong. It really is that easy. Your comments are making me more apt to keep myself accountable as the benchmark instead of looking at the men around me. As a Pakistani, I was also conditioned to be a bit intimidated by men. I feel like I don't know where you live, babe. Are you actually in Pakistan? But in the United States, I feel like men are intimidated by us, but it goes two ways. Weak men are intimidated and they quit, they give up, or they lash out and they like are almost like a little bit aggressive towards women. Conscious men, secure men, what I've heard, and this is like the men that I'm surrounded by where I live, Irfan's friends, the men that I'm surrounded by are generally like conscious, traditional men that want to provide, they want to do well. They say things when they're feeling like they want to conserve energy, they're like, oh my God, like if a woman can do it, I can do it. So they're using it as motivation. In fact, I hear them saying things like that. So they're using it as sort of like inspiration. Just like we've looked before, we had all these female 4-minute miles, and thank God that we do. We look to men, right? Because that's the only examples that we had. Live in Canada and had only experience with weak men who lashed out. This era is over, of course. However, it's really good to know where the benchmark. We are quickly becoming the benchmarks because not only do we do it well, but we also make it look easy. The thing with men is that they have a harder time making it look easy because their evolutionary history evolved around purposely making it look hard so they got more points and they earn more respect. So I've shared this story again before, but I'll share it again. A man, who a group of men, let's say they go hunting because they used to go hunting in small groups. And if they came back and they're like, oh, this was so easy, we went over there and then there was an animal and he was limping, he was almost half dead anyways, and we just grabbed him and we came back. The tribe will be like, oh, thank you for bringing meat, but they're not going to be like, oh my God, you're my hero and you saved the day. So they would come back and like overcomplicate the thing. Even though yes, they did risk their life, it was hard to go hunting. I'm not downplaying that by any means. It is very hard to provide, whether you're a man or a woman. However, they evolved to add a little spice to the story. Instead of saying it was easy or it was no big deal, they would come and there would be a campfire in the evening as everyone's celebrating and eating the food, and they would say, oh my God, I almost got killed. It was so hard and I was hungry for 3 days and I had a stake through my heart and I took it out with my bare hands, and then I went back out there and I got the animal, I wrestled it with my bare hands. So they that's what they're used to. And this is why when a man is not receiving enough points at home, he will come and like try to complain and like make it harder than it needs to be. Women do this too when they're kind of like in their wounded masculine. And like my little stool, it's stuck and I'm trying to get it. Hold on, I gotta get my little stool out. Did I show you guys the stool that Irfan had got me? This little like to put my feet on when I'm like live streaming, little mushroom. It had gotten stuck under my table and I kept shaking the camera. Okay, I'm back. So Yes, I forgot what I was saying, but yes, so you get it, right? Like, yes, not only do women do all the things now, because we don't have that evolutionary history of making things, like we don't, there's no need to like make it harder than it needs to be. Essentially, that is like a trauma response, but there's no evolutionary history to it. We make it look easy and we make it look fun, and that's why we are the better 4 minute mile, if I shall say so myself. Yeah, they are so dramatic when they're sick. Yes, they do like this is scientific fact that men have less pain tolerance than women do. So yes, yes. Oh my God, that like honestly, like a sick man will just make me move out. Like oh my God, no, I can't. Yes, yes, they are. Like we're over here like dealing with everything, and then yes, I can't with that. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, thank you. That's something I have to work on, not diminishing the masculine's need to overcomplicate things. Yes. I got my husband to stop doing it in kind of clever storytelling ways. Yes. Um, But yes, I think one easy way to do it is just remind them that women are doing it, that there's postpartum women doing it, women on their period, women with little babies, women with three babies, single moms are doing it, women with one arm are doing it, women in wheelchairs are doing it. Like literally, we're all doing the thing. So there's no need to overcomplicate it. Yeah, I think that is something that they can choose to leave behind, the overcomplicating. Yes. Any questions coming up about Davy? Classes start on March 6th. I might, let me open up the chat and see if anyone has questions about the new course or the intensive that's coming up. I'll still open it up to subscribers though. We just finished our 3 day or 3 module financial literacy series in the members only area. We have a lot of exclusive content over there, by the way, for you guys that are not members yet, but considering it. Okay. Questions about Davy? It is included in the university bundle, correct. Davy, the new course is included. I'm so excited. It's already been added. Okay, I'll throw the link in there for you guys again. And then for, oh, Armand, my son just launched a new reading. I mean, I think he was doing it for some people anyways, but he wasn't like offering that as a full-on service. So he's doing these like soulmate readings now. So basically, if you instead of just getting your own reading done for human design, if you want like for him to compare yours and your partner's chart to see where there's you guys are like what you guys would be manifesting jointly, because remember that there is what where our chart does and then what his chart activates in our chart and what our chart activates in his chart for human design. So this is something that I encouraged him to add because he was doing it like for clients that asked about it. So I'm like, why not just offer that as a service for everyone? So his email is in the description box. I also just put in the chat. It's called majestyofdivinity@gmail.com. And you can email him to get his menu of services. Also, I'll throw in the Orange County Intensive. Super excited about that. Is Devi the dark same as dark feminine energy? So no two courses of mine are the same as anything else. Dark feminine is like something I taught in like, oh my God, when? 2019? I don't even remember, a long time ago. This is a brand new course for 2024 that starts on March 6th. There's going to be 6 initial lessons, and obviously, if I feel inspired to do so, I might add some later. But initially, there's 6 lessons that have come through. So I'm super excited about that. Maria said, Hi Mina, so happy to be in Davie. I have some experiences recently, like the ones you were sharing yesterday, and I will love this new course. Excited to hear. Yes. Happy to have you, babe. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Dear Mina, what activation will be awakened from Devi, savageness or dark feminine? It will be the level after both of those. So dark feminine came before savage. Personal power came before dark feminine. So it was, oh, sorry. Yeah. So it was personal power, dark feminine, savage, and now Devi is on top of that. So it's the level after. So what happens with the newer levels is that we've already integrated the previous ones. We're moving as if those ones have already been integrated and then adding to that, if that makes sense. Okay. Questions about Devi or the upcoming in-person intensive? I opened up the chat for a few minutes so I can answer any questions about those. The classes start for that on March 6th. And obviously, you guys can email my team too with questions. But so far, we know we were having 6 lessons. It starts on March 6th. It's on a pre-order. Let me see how long the price is active. Because I know it was about to expire, the pre-launch price. 3 hours and 17 minutes. So that's the pre-launch price time left. And I know a lot of you guys have signed up. It is bonused in for the university bundle students. Welcome, Jasmine. Happy to have you in Level Up Queens. Mina, did you ever consider teach public speaking? No. What I recommend is go to a local community college and take their public speaking class. Do you know what my first class at Northwestern University was? That was not a local community college, but it was the first class I ever took, public speaking. My second class was writing. Because if you can't like speak and write, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are, it doesn't matter what you know, you can't like properly communicate. So those were the first classes that I took because I knew that anything else I did after that would be enhanced if I was good at public speaking and knew how to write well. So I recommend doing that. I don't recommend doing it in online, honestly, especially not the public speaking, because part of that entire class was us public speaking. So he would give us a topic, we would write a whole speech on that topic, and then we would publicly speak it to each other. So, oh my goodness, hi, Armaan's in the chat. I was just talking about the new training that you just added, the new reading, the soulmates reading, the 2 chart. I don't know if you heard that bit, but Armaan's in the chat as well. So he's expanded and been doing a lot of new and deeper readings this year, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. I'll throw his email once again in the chat. Armaan, I think you have some of your clients in here as well in the chat. How amazing. I admire your boldness when speaking about your services. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Armaan is fantastic. Just got my reading done and it's been a blessing. Yay, happy to hear that. You've got a lot of clients in here in the chat right now. So, ladies, I opened up the chat to everyone to answer any questions about my upcoming course or Devi, the Ultimate Diva, or about the Sacred and Savage Orange County Intensive that's happening on April 3rd. A lot of the other questions you guys are asking can be answered by watching my free content on YouTube or taking one of my courses. I have so many free videos on YouTube that answer all of those questions. If you need a little bit more structure and like deeper work, then I highly recommend you. I've got so many relationship courses. I have a modern dating for queens course, 90-day relationship rehab. You'll once you start actually investing and doing into your inner work, you won't have a lot of these questions that you're asking. So some of those are linked in the description box, but you can buy all my products on theuniverseguru.com. Anything else coming up for you regarding the topic we're talking about, women are the 4 minute mile, or Devi and feminine, sacred and savage, which is happening in Orange County? Any course for single mothers? Uh, you don't like what would be what is the genre? So if you're a single mother, you're just a woman. So just move like you're a woman. I don't think there needs to be a specific course for single mothers. I never like looked at myself as like a single mother. I just like moved accordingly. I don't see that as like needing special information, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. So no, I don't think that I would see myself as like in a special bracket. I'm a woman. I need to do womanly inner work. How does Davy's embodiment look like through the different eras in your book? Do I have to be in my Million Dollar Babe woman era to be a Million Dollar Babe to access it? So I answered this in my last two videos that I posted, Anita, is that stage 2 and 3 self-aware Barbies and up are great for that course. If you are stage 1 self-aware Barbie or basic babe, this is not going to be the right course for you. I would recommend starting somewhere else. I would recommend starting with personal power activation, dark feminine, savage feminine, and moving your way up. Yeah. Your book is like the feminine Bible. I love it. Thank you, Tatiana. I appreciate that. Do you have a course for activating your masculine energy when you've been too much in your feminine? Yes, the Self-Aware Barbie Activated bundle. It has all of the areas of your life that you can automate. And automation, creating structures, all of that requires your masculine energy. So that would be the best place to start with that. Now I understand why it's so hard to learn from university professors because they don't embody the knowledge as you. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate that. I will say that I was really blessed that at least the professors that I had at university, they were pretty embodied in what they were teaching. So, but I know what you mean. When someone's not embodied, it can create a distortion, like with Sheena, right? Like my mom taught me amazing things, but it was very hard to take them seriously because she wasn't applying any of those things in her own life. And so I didn't realize the value of her advice until like it was like I had to, it was almost too late. Like I had to learn it the hard way, right? And I feel like if she was more embodied, I would have listened because I know when I speak, my children listen because I'm embodied in all the areas, right? And if I'm not, then I tell them, hey, I know I don't really do this, but this is the right thing to do, and I'm working on becoming more embodied in it. I start feeling the changes the second I see your first video about Davy. It was a A night full of internal changes. I love it. I feel like when you're ready, it can be like that. It was like that for me too, where it was like it was summoning me and summoning me and summoning me, and then I accepted the call, and then the changes were like instant. Like my energy changed. Oh my God, my like when that shift happened, my husband was like looking at me differently, and he's like, "You're different." Like I'm like I feel different. Like it was instant. So I know exactly what you mean, and I'm so happy that that happened for you. Whenever I use this credit card, I have your sentence in my head, spend his money or someone else will, yeah. My mom used to say that. Yes. Love you, Mina. I'm 20 years old and I'm so grateful I have been able to listen to you at such a young age. You have changed my life. Girl, I'm so happy that so many young people are listening. What would I have given to have had this information in my early 20s? And in full disclosure, I kind of did. But again, it was from a disembodied teacher, so I didn't always listen. So I'm glad that you are soaking it in and hopefully making it your own and using what applies to you. You mentioned earlier not to start caring for a man's child that he's bringing into the marriage. So, babe, one thing I want you to, guys to do is get better at listening. This is a very basic babe kind of thing. I didn't say marriage. If you go and re-listen to that part, I said women are now stepping in and taking care of their boyfriends' babies, children that they had from their previous situationships. We're not talking about marriage. These women are not married to the men, okay? So listen carefully because the context changes things. We're talking about situationships, boyfriendships, girlfriendships, things that I don't believe in, things that have no evolutionary history. There is no reason for you to be having an imaginary relationship with a man and then stepping in and raising his children for him that he had out of wedlock with another woman, and now you're never letting him actually raise his own kids. That's not your responsibility. There was a woman telling me that she was broke, that she didn't have any money left because her boyfriend's daughter birthday and Christmas is around the same time. And so like she used up all her money to buy her presents because in their 50-50 split, the split of her boyfriend's daughter's clothing, schooling, supplies, Christmas presents, birthday presents, travel expenses, and meals also get split 50-50. Well, this woman doesn't have any kids. She's in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship with this guy and in a 50-50 situation. Why is his responsibility with his previous girlfriend being put in her 50%? Like, I don't get it. She has to take time off of work to care for that girl because her boyfriend has to go to work when he has custody over spring, like spring break and summer break and stuff. Why is this woman having to put her career, her money, her future on hold? And by the way, this same boyfriend wouldn't even give this woman a key to his apartment that she was sharing with him and paying 50-50 for because the apartment was in his name. And so she would get off work and drive around or wait in the parking lot for a few hours until he came home. And if he decided that he was going to go to the bar with his guy friends or his colleagues, she'd have to wait a couple extra hours until he came home and let her in the apartment that she was paying 50% for. I didn't like, I hear these kind of situations and I'm just like, I'm just just gonna keep my mouth shut over here. Let people figure it out. Yeah, I mean these are the things that I hear when I go out. This is why I don't leave the house very much. I'm a homebody because I don't want to hear this kind of crap. I'm like I can't with these situations. This is the stuff that people are doing. Instead of taking that money and putting it in her retirement account, investing it in her education, building a business out of it. She even told me that the clothes that she buys his daughter, the mom takes and wears. The ex. So I'm like, oh, nice. Like now you get to buy clothes for his ex. Awesome. Any other questions coming up about Davy? Ladies, some of the questions you guys asking, I love you, but just do your inner work. Some of the stuff is just, you won't have these questions if you actually do your inner work, know you are as a woman, and how to move accordingly. Honestly, I agree, Armaan. I did not open my mouth to give any advice because, nope, that's on you. And this isn't like an isolated incident. I hear this kind of stuff out in the wild, and I'm just like, what is happening? The interesting thing is that in my personal circle, like in my neighborhood and like in our friendship groups, in our family, like this is unheard of. Never, because we don't have boyfriend girlfriend situationships. So it eliminates a lot of this drama. But I just can't believe that people don't even, this is why I'm like so against sleeping with men before marriage, because it really alters your hormones as a woman. Oh, hi, Paula. Yes, I saw you in the financial class and members only. Yes, Arman's here as well. Arman, you have a lot of new readings now, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about them in the chat? He's doing the what? Obviously, he has the regular level one reading. He's got wifed. He's got the two charts where he sees what your partner is activating in your chart and what you're activating in your partner's chart. Arman, you also have the wealth one, right? Still, the wealth reading. Devi means goddess in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is an ancient language. It's a beautiful ancient language. I absolutely love it. I feel like the ancient languages were just where all the gold was. The full name of that course is Devi, the Ultimate Diva. After I had named and launched that course, I found out diva actually also means goddess in Latin. And I'm like, this is like almost poetic. I sent out an email. I'm like, you can't make this ish up. Like, seriously? Like, I had put the word goddess in there twice. Arman said, I have rich in romance. Actually, it's like your genetic coding, basic reading plus wived plus compatibility reading. Oh, awesome. And then you also have that soulmate reading, right? That you're doing with the two charts. I stopped sleeping with men before marriage because of you. I'm so happy to hear that, Amelia. It messes with your hormones and it glosses over the red flags. That's the compatibility one. Okay, awesome. Great. Yes, I did. Have you watched any of the new Love is Blind? I did. I can't help but yell at the TV. It's so cringe. It is super cringe. Oh my God. And I don't know if you guys noticed, and if you didn't notice, sorry for the spoilers, but in the last scene, you know how they drip the content? In the last episode of the content that they just dipped, they showed only two couples make like at the altar, which means that most of the couples aren't even gonna make it to like the altar. Yeah, it was this season. It's fun and juicy, but it is the hot mess. Like everyone's a hot mess. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. Oh my God, that would be fun, Amber. Yeah. No, it was that. I don't like that they drip it. I'm like, I want to watch the whole thing. I had a whole thing. I was telling your friend, I'm like, isn't Netflix supposed to be binge watchable? Like, why are they dripping it? It's so annoying. I just wanted to watch it so badly. Yeah, the age gap thing, Armand, too. Yeah, Daddy and I are always talking about that with Love is Blind, is that they haven't figured out the age gap thing yet. It's like not only have they figured it out, it's always the older women. Like it's like working, not only do they not know, they're doing it in the other direction where the women are older. Even in Married at First Sight, that one woman is so much older. I think they're the same age, but energetically, she's at least 15 years older than him. Michael and Chloe. I don't know if you guys are watching Married at First Sight still. After watching your videos, Mina, when I watch Love is Blind, I get so angry. I can't do the work you do. I can't do the work you do. It is so meant for you. I was fuming, seeing things I wouldn't have noticed before. Yeah, once you see it, once you know this stuff, you can't unsee it. Mark and Jessica from the early season was the worst thing I've seen. Mark and Jessica? Are you still watching? Are you on season 5? Which season are you talking about? And what show? Because I don't think you started. Oh my God, have you guys watched that other one, Arman? What was the one that you were just watching that I told you that we loved? That one based on the true story. Do you remember the name of that, Arman? Put in the chat. Lover, stalker, something. Oh my God, that's based on a freaking true story. Guys, I called it 5 minutes in. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys because I actually want you guys to go watch it. Stalker, killer, lover, right? Is that it? Yeah, stalker, killer, lover. Um, I called it. Irfan was like, no, he didn't think that I was right. And then at the end, I was right. I was like, I knew it. So he was asking me later, how did I know? And I told him the subtle things I had picked up. Homework assignment, everyone go watch it. When you've watched it, then I'll tell you guys in the next live stream what were the subtle things that I picked up. I actually came to you and said it's so good, and you already watched it. Yeah, it's creepy, and it's based on a true story. It's so good. You guys have to go watch it. It's on the same kind of lines of like Dirty John. What was that other one? Tinder Swindler. Like it's so good. It's on Netflix. It's based on a true story. Like you can't make that stuff up. Can someone search for the actual name? Oh, hi, Haney. Haney's here as well. Like, can you guys find the real name? Let me search for it on Netflix. Let me see if I can find it. Netflix, um, Lover. It's called Lover Stalker Killer. Lover Stalker Killer. Yeah, it's based on a true story. So good. It's frustrating when you know you would have done the situation different if you were in their shoes. Yes, but you also have to remember, Armand, that it's easy to say that in hindsight because I know, like in my 20s, I made some really, really, really dumb like decisions. And now, of course, when people present those same scenarios, it's very easy for me to be like, that's not what I would do, but like that is what I did. So like, I think it's easier um, when you like hindsight, right? Like you already know it. Then it's easier because you see it. But when you're in it, you think you're making the right decisions. And by the way, everyone that sees the guy as a victim, I'm sorry, I do not see the guy as a victim. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong in this, but there was something about him that I did not like from the beginning. I just, the way he was portrayed, I don't know if that's how he was in real life, but I didn't see him as a victim. Oh my God, I gave you guys the disclaimer. Someone saying eyebrows on fleek. So I had my second session of air stroking done yesterday, which is like a less aggressive form of microblading. And I had gotten the first session 3 weeks ago, and I freaking loved it. But I had some, you know how it like fades a little, and then you have to get a second session. So I had it done yesterday, so that's why it's like this. It's not gonna be like this. Like a week later, like it's gonna be perfect. So she was like, it's gonna be a little crazy. You may not want to go on YouTube for a week. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go. Like, who cares? I'm just gonna tell them. Like, you guys, like, this is my first time getting things like this, and what I'm learning is that a lot of these things, like, it's like there's like a period where it gets worse before it gets perfect. So so I was like, I'm not gonna let my crazy eyebrows keep me from coming on here and like speaking my heart. So yeah, that's what's up with the eyebrows. I mean, I don't think they look that bad, but I know they're gonna be even better next week. Yeah, it's easy in hindsight. You are giving hot Latina Oriental vibes. So you're not supposed to wash it for 24 hours. It will be 24 hours at 5 p.m. And then you can't put soap on it for 3 days, but it's going to be 24 hours and like a couple more hours. So yeah, I can't wait to see. I mean, they were already wonderful even with the first session. I'm so happy. But there were like a few places that needed a little bit of touch up. My lash extensions are always perfect a few days later. Most of these men on the shows need therapy. It's as if they are looking for their mom and act like babies instead of being in their divine masculinity. And the thing is, I wonder if like the healthy ones never even make the cut because I feel like some of these shows purposely choose people that will create drama because at the end of the day, drama is what sells and it's what people watch. So I think that the healthy men and women and healthy couples like don't make the cut. Because I remember when Married at First Sight started, it was all about healthy couples and coaching them. And then eventually they got rid of the coaching. They got rid of a lot of the things that were helping. And they started matching people not based on compatibility, but based on, like, Irfan always gets mad because he always watches that show with me. And he's like, it seems like they're just like winging it. There's no formula. Because he's like, sometimes they say these people are compatible because they're similar. And sometimes they say they have opposite things and they will balance each other out. He's like, that just tells me that they're just winging it. There's no like set formula. Mina, you always look younger each time I see you. Thank you, Fergie. I appreciate that. I will receive your compliment. Thank you, thank you. Mina, you're truly changing my life. I'm 17 and I found you from Alexis. Oh, I love Alexis. Currently doing my inner work and you're triggering me so much, but I know that's good. I have more work to do. Thank you. You're 17? You're like you're even younger than Armaan. Oh my God, Armaan's 19. Wow, I love that you're doing inner work at 17. Wow. I got air stroking. It's a less it's like a more expensive, less invasive form of microblading. I gave up on Married at First Sight because there was no inner work. Yeah, I don't know why they. And you know what? The thing is that Irfan told me that that was his favorite part, and he still watches it with me, but he says that he's lost interest because his favorite part was when the coaches would come in and they were in the first many seasons they spent a lot more time coaching. It was all about helping the couples, and now it's like very rare to even hear from the experts and if you do, they just repeat like some random thing. Like it's not, you don't actually see the coaching. It's not about actual inner work anymore. So he always says that too about that show. Married at First Sight used to have different experts, four of them for three couples. It was also on a different network. The quality dropped when it went on Lifetime. Oh, I did not know that. Was it not on Lifetime from day one? I was not aware of that because we buy it on Amazon Prime and then we watch it there. How's your surgery recovery? Today's week 3. Monday will be week 4 completed, and I'm feeling so much more myself this week. So like I just have like more energy. I'm just more active. Um, so Monday I can start working out, which I'm really excited about. Like I'm just one of those kind of people that I don't like not working out. I just feel so much better when I'm working out, so I can't wait. This week I have been walking. Like we resumed walking with my family. Like you guys know how we walk 3.2 miles every day as a family. Well, I couldn't go before this week, so that has been a game changer. Just being out in nature, walking again, getting some movement going. So good, so good. You have inspired me so much, Mina. My dating game has leveled up since watching you. Awesome, Lex. I'm so happy to hear that, babe. Do you think it's possible to heal your body through deep meditation? So should I be more realistic? Um, I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm trying to see if there was another part of it. Um, sure, but at the same time, I feel like when I ask God for healing, I also take the steps that I need to take. So if you're asking me, will meditation only help? I don't know. I personally will do my part. So I'm not one of those people that will just meditate and then like that's it. Like I will then take the action steps that God is clearly showing me to take. So if I understand your question correctly, that's how I would answer it. What would you advise teens to focus on during their inner work? If you have read my book, I tell you what I want teens to focus on. Their inner work is learning as much as they can. So, finishing high school, going to university, taking classes, learning life skills, that's their inner work. They won't need a lot more inner work if they actually don't have boyfriends and just focus their attention on doing that. So learn, 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 learn is their inner work. Learn as much as you can. I plan on doing that until the day I die. Like, keep learning, keep growing. Like, I'm going to be a very good steward of God's resources that have been allocated to me, used up for me, provided for me. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. This was so much fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed this conversation and spending this time with you guys. I will see you guys in Devi, the ultimate diva, which is the level after Savage energy. Like, this is where we're really standing in our ultimate personal power. And the topics in this will be in our relationships. We're going to have a module on relationships, career, business, money, energy and mindset will be one topic. I have them listed on the sales page, and then the whole lifestyle aspect of it. This is when you are leaving sort of like people pleasing, all of that stuff. It's not even in your vocabulary anymore. You know how I talk about people who are always using therapy speak are giving up the fact that they were recently in therapy, like they're revealing that about themselves. And I don't want you guys doing that. Like, I want you to, it's like it's done, it's over, it's integrated. Once you stop talking about something, it's really integrated. Unless you're a teacher, obviously, and you're bringing it up as a lesson, it's integrated. So by the time you get into Davy aspects, Savage is integrated. You don't have to worry about people pleasing. It's not even in your realm. You're like, people pleasing what? Nice girl who? So that's the level that we're activating in that course. And I'm super excited about that. So, 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 so excited. So, yes. And Armaan, like I said, has a lot of new readings that he's doing. And obviously, he has his classics, of course. And so he can be reached at majestyofdivinity@gmail.com, which is always linked in the description box for you guys. The links for Davy and my Orange County intensive is also in the description box, as well as all of my books, my journals, and all of those amazing things. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.